Welcome to the Happy Moments Podcast, where I bring you brief, to-the-point episodes about happiness, mindfulness, and mental health. Anyone with a young child or children will eventually face the same situation, at least if they want to have any sort of social life outside of the house. They're eventually going to have to find a babysitter to watch your children. And when that time comes, they're going to be a wide array of emotions and thoughts that come along with it. And these emotions can include sadness, possibly for being separated from someone you've been around and solely bonded with for so long, guilt for leaving them with someone other than yourself, fear because you're not there to take care of your child or children like you've been up until that point. Fear maybe because you will have no idea what is happening while you're away, unless, of course, you have a nanny cam, hidden a teddy bear's eye or something like that, like you see on TV. Don't get me wrong, though. You may also have positive emotions and feelings like joy, for being out of the house and enjoying yourself. It may not be a huge amount of joy the first time you go out, but it may happen. It may be there. You never know. So what can you do to make leaving your children at home with a babysitter for the first time an easier, less painful experience? And the answer is this. The answer is to prepare yourself, to prepare your children, and to prepare your sitter ahead of time. I mean, that old Boy Scout motto, be prepared, right? Be prepared. Your first step in this whole thing is to find a sitter. Find a sitter. Unless you know someone who has experience or who you can trust with your children. And that's the best thing. If you know somebody, a friend or a relative that has experience or that's old enough, usually over the age of 12 or 13, that you can trust with your children, and home alone that you can trust in an emergency situation, that is the best situation you can possibly be in. But if you are not in that situation, you are going to have to use some kind of service, or you're going to have to place an ad. And what this means is that you are going to know absolutely nothing about that person that will be in your home taking care of your children. And this is where I see a lot of people go wrong. They put an ad up on Craigslist or answer an ad on Craigslist or even Nextdoor or, one of these sites or apps. And these sites they're not going to give you any kind of credible sitters or credible people. There's no background checks. There's no references. There's no recommendations. It's just an ad and you're answering it and you really don't know these people. And if you don't have a friend or relative that you can trust or watch your children, and if you are looking for experienced, credible babysitters with background checks, I can personally, and honestly, I can personally recommend Bambino. Bambino is an app, okay? It's not like Craigslist. It's not like Nextdoor. Bambino is an app, and I love the name Bambino. It was introduced in 2016. I'm going to give you some inside information here. It was introduced in 2016, and this app already has more than 200,000 registered users around the country. So no matter where you are in the country, there are going to be registered users near you in this app. So you're going to be able to find a qualified sitter with great references near you. And the reason I'm saying this is because you don't want to place an ad or answer an ad on something like Craigslist or Nextdoor or anything like this. This is an app that I found that I've spoken with the people who created it, and it really is reputable. And if you're in this situation where you don't know a relative or a family member, this is honestly your best bet for getting a sitter near you. And their focus has always been on safety. Nowadays, you need to be safety conscious more than ever. It's been on safety and networking. Networking the users, networking the sitters, networking everybody on the app together. And they take the same approach that has worked in the past for so many years. They get recommendations from friends and family in a digital way. That's why when you sign up for this app, they ask you to connect to your social networks and add friends. And what this does is it helps you to connect to people that you know that have already signed up for Bambino and have recommended sitters in your area. So when you sign up and you add your social networks, you can find people in your area that have already signed up for the app as well, who have recommended babysitters, who have recommended sitters in your area. So you're getting references. You're getting built-in references in your area from people you already know and trust. And they offer background checks. Background checks are huge these days. Everybody needs to get a background check. They run the background checks and they run sitters and parents through different databases. And these databases would flag any red flag on any adult using the app. You know, the normal red flags that would come up during background checks. They would raise any of those red flags. And they also, what's nice about this app, the Bambino app, is they make sure that parents and sitters have a great support system in place. So if questions or issues come up, there is a great support system right in the app. They'll often put a community coordinator in each city and neighborhood. So as these users register in cities and neighborhoods, they're going to find a community coordinator to place in these neighborhoods. And what these coordinators are their moms who use and love this Bambino app. And what they do is they're your first line of communication in this app. So they know the local area. They know what to expect. And what they do is they add that personal touch to this experience in this app, in the Bambino app. They add that personal touch. You can go to this community coordinator, ask questions about these certain people, ask questions about the area, the neighborhood, and you can get a personal response. Something you don't get a lot in apps nowadays. And so what am I saying here? This is a long-winded explanation for an app, but it's an app that I know. It's an app that I trust. I know the people behind it. I know it works. I know people who use it. And I'm saying that if you need to use an app, if you're in that situation, if you need to find an app to find a sitter, Bambino is your best and most personal choice. At least if I had to choose, it's the one I'd choose. And believe it or not, I talked to the people behind the app. The wonderful people over there at Bambino want you to think the same thing that I do. Okay? So they're giving you $10 off your first booking of a sitter by using the promo code Happy Moments. All one word, Happy Moments. And again, you can't go wrong with the Bambino app to find a sitter. You can't. Especially with the promo code Happy Moments to get $10 off your first booking. All right, anyway, I went into a long explanation about the app. But that is the main thing here. You need to find a sitter. You need to find a sitter. But once you find a sitter that you feel comfortable with, and that's important, finding a sitter you feel comfortable with, you need to prepare them. And what this means is that you need to familiarize them with your home. You need to familiarize them with your children, their routine, any emergency procedures, emergency numbers, fire extinguishers, etc. Anything around your house, any kind of routine, any kind of procedure that you would normally do, you need to familiarize this sitter with. This sitter needs to feel comfortable with every aspect of what they will be expected to do. There should be no surprises when it comes to that day that they are needed. You're also going to need to prepare your child or your children. And this means that you need to tell them that someone they do not know will be coming to watch them while you are going out. They need to be prepared for this, that you will not be there. It will only be for a few hours. You'll be home before they know it. And speaking of this, I do not recommend going out for more than a few hours the first time. You need to ease into it for everyone's sake. You need to ease into it. Also, make sure your children feel comfortable with the sitter. This is huge. It's very important. It's going to put both you and your children at ease, and the sitter. It's going to put everybody at ease. They need to feel comfortable with each other, and you need to feel comfortable with the sitter. So listen, even though it's difficult and emotional to find a sitter and leave your children for the first time, you can get through it if you prepare yourself, if you prepare your children, and if you prepare the sitter. With some preparation and encouragement, you will be fine, and you're going to have a great time. So enjoy yourself. Can't believe we made it through another great episode of Happy Moments Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and will visit happymomentspodcast.com to listen to all of the previous episodes, as well as sign up to receive any new episodes directly to your inbox. You can also share your own happy moments with me on the site. Also check out the Happy Moments Facebook group to learn more and share more information with other listeners. Follow me on all social media at Happy Moments Podcast and Happy Moments Pod. And until next episode, remember that happiness is a wonderful, fleeting emotion. So make every happy moment count.